Sorry, just a little late. Only by a couple minutes, mind you, but even so. So this is where we got up to with Thor last time. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy to call it quits on Thor as well, actually. But while I was thinking about getting the paints for the base and everything, I thought, actually, I could probably smooth out a couple of bits, bring some of the peach back into his face as well, because there's a little bit too much blue here for my liking, just along his face especially. But I do like how light it's gone, so I kind of want to put a little bit more peach in, but still keep this really, really pale blue aspect of it. So it's like just a little bit of light is on it. And other than that, pretty happy with how Thor's turned out, considering that was all done in the last stream on Sunday. Clean up a couple of bits, get the base done, and we've just got a couple of bits to finish up the base on Hela? Can never remember. And then I think I'm going to get started on Ghost Spider and Miles Morales, because those are two of my favorite characters. And one of the big reasons for me even going to see the movie Into the Spider-Verse, other than it being animated, was I knew that Haley Steinfeld was voicing Ghost Spider, or Spider-Gwen, however you want to call her. And, like, I really love Haley. It's kind of why I'm going to be watching the new Hawkeye stuff when that's out, just because she's in it. I'm going to get some fresh water, and then we can get started. Cool, so let's see. I want to add some more of the peach back into his face. A little bit of redness, basically. Like, not a huge amount, but just enough so it doesn't look like he's all entirely blue. Probably smooth out some of the lighting effects, especially sort of around here in the arm. Just smooth that out a little bit. Probably just glaze a couple of layers in, soften it up a bit. gonna get a little bit of this on. Just because I'm not a huge fan of like how harsh it is between the same surface. Just dab this on. I'm just having the tiniest bit of this reach out over to the other arm. But it's so subtle. But it'll look good on the table. You kind of see that from sort of that kind of angle. Let's get you a bit closer. Okay. Doing the base in the same way as I got here for Hila. Gonna add some of the green to this as well so that it just kind of glows a bit more. And depending on how it looks once Thor's got all of the base kind of color on, I might also add just a little bit of the blue. In doing so, I'll bring it further down the legs and stuff. But I haven't totally decided on that yet. So I just got a couple of greys and then a little bit of the ivory, which I'll just sort of splotch in. Now this is just to add variation to the ground basically. And while I will focus some more of the lighter grey around the outside of this like cracked paving that he stood on, I'm not that bothered if there's a little bit darker on the outside or there's a little bit lighter on the inside, because they'll all kind of squish together and just give like a mottled pattern. And the whole thing will get covered with a wash anyway, and I'll focus the wash here as well. Oops. Oh, hey Hawks. Thanks for the raid. And for the host, my dude. I'm doing good, thanks. I'm doing good. As you can kind of tell, I finished Hela. Still haven't figured out what the right way to say it is. And pretty much finished Thor last stream as well. What have you been up to? Also, shout out to Roxy. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, look, he has got his cowboy pants. Hey, thanks for the follow, Blade. What's this? Christmas orcs. Still continuing on with them. You know, after you were last on here and you'd mentioned about those Christmas orcs, I started looking into some sort of like funky little Christmas bus that I could get printed. So I've decided I'm going to do one that's like based on the Grinch and then one that's based on Krampus once I finally put the order in. Oh, that tea was cold. I should not have drank that. That is tea from like 4 hours ago. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Like, they look really good. They're, oh, what were they called? I'll find them. I think they were like clay cyanide. That's it. That's who the sculpt is by. I think. I should probably check now. Yeah, definitely by clay cyanide. Christ. So all I'm doing now is just putting the, I guess, the final touches on Hilla's base before she kind of goes in the pile for priming. So the final look of the base will end up being something kind of like this. Go. And then I'm also gonna add some of like this like dirt green, I guess, kind of color like down here, so it's kind of more like the essence of the undead is like reaching out. How's everyone else doing today? Feed the kids and get to bed. Well, thanks a lot, dude. Oh, and I did put up some photos in the about of my two boys, so when you get a chance, you'll be able to see what they look like properly. Yeah, see you later, dude. Cool, just adding a few squiggles here and there. Just to kind of help with like some of the other like darker spots that have had like the wash kind of stand out, but it just gives it a little bit more variation as well. I'm gonna catch the edge here. A few more squiggles. That's pretty much how I do the bases. Just a mix and match of grays. Usually like a dark gray, sort of a mid-gray, and then like a little bit of like ivory in this case. And that's basically how I've done all the bases. Apart from ones that end up with, like they have the brick along the side, then I'll do those with a more terracotta, like clay color, I guess. But yeah, y'all might have noticed that I've recently got a bot in the chat. I'm in the process of getting a lot of things set up. Because really a lot of this for me streaming this stuff anyway is whatever I'm doing that I can share with you guys, whether that's just having a space to like chill out, or you want to ask what I'm doing, or anything like that, by all means, because this is just a hobby at the end of the day for all of us. Now, did say I was going to put some of the green on there. There it is. This like gross dirt green kind of color. All I've done is added some of the sort of leftover bits of the ivory into this green just to make it really, really pale. And then just smoosh it all out. A little bit more around here. And then I think I might add just a little bit more of the original green again, just a bit closer, but I'll just splodge it out. That's basically it. For her, anyway. Let's see. Not yet fully dry, that's fine. I'm just going to add the black rim around here, which is what I've done with all of my figures that are part of the Marvel set. I had initially thought, oh, I'll do different edge colors, for all the different teams and factions, but then when you consider that, like, someone like Thor could be part of the Asgardians, but then also the Avengers and everything, it just gets a little messy. Hey, thanks for the follow, Egg Shen. Or would you prefer to go by Shen? What kind of works for you? Those things take... What you're saying is that you are an egg person. And if one were to think too far ahead, I'd have said Eggman. Oh, thanks, Roxy. Yeah, these are all part of the Marvel Crisis Protocol set. I got the core set a good sort of couple of months ago now, and I hadn't even finished getting through them when I bought a box load. Hadn't even finished getting through all of those. I bought another box load. Can't say I've actually seen it. I know full well I could swap to a smaller brush to do this, but by this point I've committed. Only the best action adventure comedy. That is a lot of categories for a movie to be classed into. Like, are we talking like, oh God, I've already forgotten what it's called. The one with Jackie Chan who's in it, and I should know this as well. Rush Hour. There we go. Figured it out. Has it got the same kind of like vibe to that? Hey Blade. Yeah, I'm pretty new to the whole like streaming thing, if that's what you mean. But otherwise, been up for about half an hour, 40 minutes or so, and this is probably the only reason it looks as slow as it is because I'm just cleaning up the edges of things. But I'll be starting on Miles Morales and Ghost Spider real soon, so Oscar worthy, nothing before. I'll put it on my list. I'll find a way to watch it, and I'll put it on my list. And then come next week or so, I can at least then be able to say that I've seen it. See, I didn't need a larger brush. A smaller brush in the end. It turned out mostly fine. There's a couple of patches still, actually, that I can see. But otherwise, that is pretty much Halo completed. I'll put some better photos up on Instagram as well when I'm able to take some nicer ones. Slide her into the drying cabinet. Oh, minis looking like in the Minnesota. Oh, thanks, Egg. Honestly, like when I started painting like ages ago, and I mean like ages ago, like I I really wasn't good at it at all. I kind of gave it a break while I was busy with uni, and I kind of picked it up towards the end of uni. And I did the same thing that you did. I watched other people paint. I watched people like Sarastro and Miniac, Miniatures Den, and actually more recently I've seen some of Epic Duck's stuff, which is inspired basically a couple of the characters that I've already painted up, Black Panther and Venom. Like, it's totally possible. Let's see, let's get them two out of the drying cupboard. We'll be getting onto these guys next. So I've already primed them both, doing a zenithal. So I've got Gwen, Ghost Spider, Spider Gwen, 400 different names for her. But all that matters to me is that Haley Steinfeld voices her in the Into the Spider-Verse movie. And then Miles Morales, Spider-Man, just not Peter Parker. Although I might do something different with Miles rather than painting him with his black and red. I've been looking through sort of what he wore in the movie as well as what is available as outfits in the PS4 game. So I might do one of those sort of alternate outfits instead. Just to kind of add some variety. Because I did the regular Spider-Man, and then after, the classic red and blue, I then switched up for the Amazing Spider-Man. I went back into video game files and I painted him as Negative Zone Spider-Man, who is now gathering a little bit of dust. Because I need to buy a new container. That's dry. Plug various cables into various things. Dust is like Dusty Springfield, or just everything is gathering dust. Roxy, what's the story here? A little bit more. Dab it all in there. Speed. I am speed. The clocks changed the other day. Went backwards, I think. Yeah, October goes backwards. And I still feel like I have jet lag or something. And my cats certainly do. They start yelling at basically an entire hour before they should be fed based on clock time. But for them, they're just like, I don't care. And for anyone who hasn't seen my cats, there's a couple of photos of them in the About section. Dust like I'm old and dusty. Come on now. That's like creepy grandma sat in like a rocking chair in the attic kind of description. And I highly doubt that's the case. Stay hydrated, folks. I don't know if I'd say that you're the creepy old grandma sat in some room or whatever. Let me see, what was I about to do? Oh, yes, I was going to bring up some references for Ghost Spider, so that I can then start painting Let's see, what have we got? So pink for the webbing and under the hood. White is all that sort of upper part. And then mostly black. And like a tiny bit of blue on the ballet flats. Spider-Gwen. Let's see. Grab another couple. See if there's anything different. No, that's... Yeah, so some instances do it slightly more red instead of pink, but the general consensus seems to be pink. All right, yeah. See you later, Roxy. Thanks for joining the stream. Okay, so I've got my references. Thor's gonna go into the drying cupboard while that wash dries. I call it a drying cupboard, it's not that fancy. I'm thinking a couple of different ways for doing Miles though, and that's either keep him with his like standard suit but put blue into the black kind of thing, and just leave it kind of as is, give it that slightly more comic-y vibe, that cell shaded kind of blocky colors like it's in the movie. Or I could experiment with sculpting a little bit and try and give him like a hoodie and maybe those like cargo shorts kind of thing. But I haven't totally decided yet. So I'm going to start with Spider-Gwen. Let's see, so probably want some ivory, but I might also want just regular white. Pink elements. Oh, that's pretty easy. I've got a couple of nice shades of pink. Probably use some of this. A bit of this here, and I'll probably lighten it up because this is a really nice color. I love this color. Then let's have another look over this. So the box art kind of has just like a plain white for the figure itself, but the card art looks to have I think it's like either purple or a really pale pink used as like some of the shadow tones. So might start off with like a super pale, like gray purple or something like that. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Let's see. So the color I want, some really pale gray. What have I got? Ooh, maybe, potentially. This color's already got some of the pinky purple in it. Also, I could mix one up, or maybe I'll just blend the two of these together a little bit. Yeah, we'll look at probably blending the two of them together. I've got a new machine coming that'll hopefully make all of the streaming setup and everything a lot easier. And a couple of stands, which will just help prop everything up. And they're coming over the course of the week, some next week. And I'll be working further on the bot that I've recently installed and got, like, it's only doing a couple of things in the channel at the minute, but one of the next couple of bits I'll be adding is to just throw in like song requests and all that kind of stuff, and that way it'll just be a little bit livelier. Oh, I haven't used this paint in a while. Dust and cat fur everywhere. Hey, thanks for the tip, Blade. Yeah, when I've kind of wrapped up for the day and stuff, because I won't be doing anything again now till Thursday after this, I'll certainly take that in, and I'll make sure things like that are in place. Just a tiny bit. This purple is such a strong color. Oh, I've made a mistake. So you can see there, I put just the tiniest dot of purple in with this, and it's too much. Let's go even less. So at the end of the day, I still want this to read as white, not really pale purple. And some of that will come with the additional bits of highlighting and everything, but still. Alright, so the areas that are white are supposed to be up till here. And then it comes down the side. Oh geez, where does it go around the back? How far down? I think only just to there, more or less. No rush design to be more. Honestly, like it sounds like I'm being condescending, but genuinely thank you for those tips and stuff. Oh, one of the worst things about putting paint on, I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera. There's a tiny, tiny little hair that's stuck on the model. Oh, wait, it's moving. It's moving. Where am I? Where is it? There we go. I'd rather scuff the paint now while it's still only the base layer than get all the way through and then see it. That's the problem with living with two cats. Everything's bound to get fluff on it. Mask is white as well. But do I have a steady enough hand to do that? Yeah, let's give it a go. Now let's just have a look at what the model is like again for the placement of the colors. Okay, as it goes up along here. And around here. Then how much of it comes under? So it looks like it stops at a point there underneath, and the whole hand is just this pale color. And it comes around here on the back. I know I don't have to be this neat or this careful, since the color is basically just another sort of off-white, but it'll help with the areas that have got some of the zenithal priming still in place to kind of maintain that a little bit. Gently dab this into place. There, everything turned out fine. Didn't need a smaller brush at all. I say that now, but it's probably going to come back to haunt me. I totally forgot to ask you, dude, if you've been, like, streaming for long or anything yourself. Maybe even modeled in where the zipper would be. Voice on the way. Gotta start dinner and check another. Hey, yeah, see you later, eggs. I don't have to start dinner for another 2 hours, more or less. Yeah, started streaming earlier this year. I paid Warhammer. Oh, cool. Once I'm all done, I'll switch over and check you out. Is it mostly 40k that you tend to paint? Or are you more like Age of Sigmar? Like the fantasy stuff? Okay, building up a... I've seen quite a few things about the Sisters of Battle stuff recently. Has a new set come out or something? And are you looking to play in a tournament or anything with them, or are you just building up the army for display? Yeah, that's a new... These are all put together my first army. Figuring out how to play. Oh, right, okay, yeah. I found that, like, Warhammer's got a lot of rules. Like, even, like, I have some of the Blood Bowl stuff, the new sort of second edition, if you want to call it that. And I still can't wrap my head around the rules, so I don't know how you're wrapping your head around these rules. Oh, hey, dude. You prefer Crypt or Shadow or something else altogether? How you doing, dude? I think that color just shows as like a super, super pale cream on camera, if it's even picking it up against the white. Ooh, you cooking just for you, Crypt, or are you making food for you and the folks? What are you making? I think Blade is starting to come up with a conspiracy theory or something about you. Not really. I don't know. Are you playing in a, like, do you have plans to play in a local shop or like with anybody when you've like got your army sorted, Blade? Yeah, I'm the same when it comes to cooking. And so it's really handy that I live with someone who tolerates me in the nicest way possible. And more importantly, tolerates and even enjoys my cooking. Okay, here we go. This is the stressful bit. Trying not to mess up putting the pink inside the hood. So far, so good. The amount of stress. I have really shaky hands, but I found a way to kind of counter it by shaking the figure at the same time. Focus on corals. Yeah, it's one of them. It's going to take practice with the game and get to know sort of your own team skills and everything before you start expanding out into more. If you ever expand out into more. Yeah, Crypt, throw it in chat. I gave up. I just splodged the paint on. I'll clean it up afterwards though, so. Where is my cat? I can hear him somewhere. Oh, he's on the couch. Crypto's right though, Blade. Like if you're, if everything's quite a chill game and everything, you should be able to just ask those kind of questions so that you can understand the type of moves that like you can make as an opposing player as well. And for like things like line of sight or anything like that. Like it's something I prefer about the Crisis Protocol game, the rules are a little bit slimmer. Do you play yourself, Crypt? And do you play 40k or Sigma or anything? Oh, thanks for the follow, Crypt. Found a guy who's been good about. Oh, that's really good that you've got that. Lumineth. Lumineth, is that the they're like the sort of like elves and stuff, right? The sort of funky space elves. I got problems. That problem is yeah. I can relate to that problem heavily. Everything I've got, I've spent on paints and figures and shelving units for paints and figures. Are they the ones that come with the dryads and stuff in the sort of Sigmar set, the Lumineth? Last time I checked, I am me, so I don't think I'm you. Giant mountain bull. I've not been in a store recently enough to picture fully which ones they are, but I'll. Ah, right, yeah, Sylvaneth for them. Let me have a quick look. Lumineth. Oh yeah, the ones that like ride horses and strange, almost dinosaur-looking type mounts. But not exactly the dinos, because I know that there's like that whole lizard people who have like actual dinos. Sure, if they're kangaroos, they're kangaroos. Is this meant to go up to there? It does wrap around slightly to here, so it will do the same this corner. The cow deer looking things. They got a kangaroo arch unit and a leader with an elegant weird beat. Yeah, I mean, I literally just looked it up, and all I got was something that looked a bit like a gazelle, but like with a tail a bit more like a dinosaur. Like it was just like it felt like it was out of like the Avatar movie, the one with the blue people. Yeah, to be fair, I haven't seen it either. I just know of it, like in that weird way that everyone seems to just know of it. They've never seen it, but they know enough about it to kind of say they have. Like everybody knows that they're blue, and the tails touch, and it's some weird sort of mating ritual almost, but not quite. Just dab right over that. Clean this up. And it's like I never made this error in the first place. Should I use a smaller brush? Maybe. But it's fine. I don't need a smaller brush. It's all going fine. Famous last words. Oh, darn it. Now it's like it never happened. Song of Ice and Fire Start. Oh, is that the one for the Game of Thrones stuff blade? in the eye with oil. Is this while you're cooking? Oh, geez. The other day, I made a curry for, and it was basically ready for when my housemate got back in from work. And just as I was plating up, I knocked the whole pan on the floor. So she had to clean all that up while I tried to salvage whatever I could. Yeah, hot pan as well. Like, I'd literally just turned the stove off. I think I've salvaged it. Definitely salvaged. Let's see, now do I go with a really dark purple, like an almost black purple, or do I go with blue? Let's see, let's have a look back at the comic art. I'll go with a really purpley black. Where are these other pink elements supposed to go? I really need to stop, like, licking my paintbrushes, because I am getting so much fluff and paint in my mouth. Now I just have to get this line the same on the other side. Oh, gravy. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a go. Well, first of all, this part needs to be a little bit longer. Just cut out from here a bit more. Probably up to about there. That looks about right. Let's have a look again. It's about right. Then do the same on this side. About there. Arguably, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It's about there on the back. Stress. Comes around, no, here, and then we swoop back up. God, it's like with eyes, only one is good. The other is questionable. But actually, only looks like a tiny bit to have to touch up. No, don't do this to me. There we go. Teeny tiny bit, just on the corner. I suppose I could smooth out this a little bit. And how far down the back does this? Okay, cool. Try freehand. Yeah, you should. Give it a go. Have you done any freehand stuff before, or is this going to be like your first big jump into it? I don't even like do washes with the eyes. For the most part, I've just left them as white dots. But a lot of like the heroes and stuff have like masks on, so it kind of makes sense for it to just be a white dot. But I know that there's going to come a time when I'm going to have to actually put a pupil into them, and I dread that time. Where are all my cables? That's the one that I need. Otherwise this runs out of power. Oh, I've done this to myself. I've blocked the bleeding port. There we go. There we go. %90 sure I've covered all the areas with that off-white color. So I'm going to go straight in with the super dark purpley black. Or is it a black purple? Let's see. If we have a look at some of the comic cover art for Spider-Gwen has it black for the hard shading, like for the deep shading areas, and then it's like an almost sort of orangey pink, like where the light is shining on it. Let's see, what does Into the Spider-Verse do? Into the Spider-Verse seems to have like a slight purple. Yeah, we'll go with purple. We'll add some of that in. But keep it mostly black for this base coat. I can always add more purple in the highlight. Ooh, there's still some purple here. Cat hair on everything. As we get closer to that sort of 10:30, 11 o'clock kind of time, my cats are really going to go off on one. Again, because the whole clock's going back thing. Normally they get their dinner at like 11:30-ish. But they've been going feral over the last 2 days, a whole hour early. Is this even the right color? Does this giant splodge here kind of look black to you? Got a dog in the set. Yeah. Fur everywhere. Hey, look, if it looks kind of black, that's good enough for me. It just has to look kind of. Yeah, so, like, I'm in the UK, so the clocks went back on Sunday, and it's just been chaos. Yes, I think this is indeed the color that I wanted. Huh, I thought everywhere the clocks went back at the same time. Easiest thing's probably just to Google it to double check. The clocks might have already gone back and you didn't even notice. other than my cats yelling at at a time that I would not have thought they would start yelling at, I wouldn't have realized that the clocks had gone back, apart from this this team that I'm working with at the minute in my day job. They're based in Amsterdam. So I was like, oh my god, if the clocks have gone back here, does it mean that they're having, like, the time that they're having their meetings now is even later in the day? Should I be getting up earlier for these calls? The best part is I didn't have to get up early. Did not have to change the time that I was waking up. Should I come back in with a smaller brush? Maybe. Will I? Probably not. No, it's an hour later. The clocks have gone... Right, so the clocks went backwards, so instead of it being nearly 10, it should be nearly 11. It's on. Oh, huh. Genuinely thought they all went back at the same time. Not every country has their clocks change either. So I wondered if you're in the UK, not because here UK accent in sense. You know what? You'll be you're probably one of the first people to tell me that you can hear like a UK accent. Everybody that I've worked with or anything, all like, yeah, they've all said like Canadian or American. But I've actually never been to the States or to Canada. Like, it's on my list of places to go. But like, I went to international schools and stuff because of like what my parents were doing at the time I was born. Should I come back in with a smaller brush? Maybe. Probably still won't. Yeah, in some states they don't change. In some words you have. I've been told there was like a phrase, like I can't even remember like what the phrase is, but my manager, when she heard me say it, she like looked so happy. She was like, "Oh my god, you're becoming more like Mancunian and stuff. I can hear it." And I was like, "Yeah, no, this is a one-off thing.